What if the secret to growth isn't about chasing every shiny new metric, every trend, or every clever hack that floods your feed daily? What if, buried deep beneath the usual numbers, there's one hidden metric nobody's talking about? One that could change everything about how your company grows, how your vision expands, how your legacy lives beyond the noise? Imagine waking up tomorrow not trapped in endless cycles of burnout, doubt, and shallow wins, but instead armed with something so powerful it feels like holding the map to the future you've been fighting for. That's where this goes. This is about breaking free from the illusion that growth is just about more clicks, more deals, more vanity numbers, because those things, they can mislead, trap, lie. What they don't tell you is that chasing them without understanding is a recipe for collapse. Slow, grinding, painful collapse. Watch closely, because this will shake everything you thought you knew about scaling. This hidden metric will not only save your energy, your sanity, your time, it will build something immovable, something that lasts when flash-in-the-pan success evaporates with the news cycle. Here's what's burning inside every founder, every leader, every investor who's been honest enough with themselves. It's fear. Fear that all the hustle might end in nothing. That the cracks you see beneath the surface will break you, your company, your mission. You feel it, the grinding weight of expectation. You push harder, work longer, delegate less. But it's not working. The game changes, the rules shift overnight, and suddenly you're chasing shadows. Meanwhile, your team tires, your clarity blurs, and the endless grind leads nowhere but exhaustion. This hidden metric, though, it demands attention to a signal few care to measure, but everybody desperately needs. A measure of resilience. The real kind, not just numbers on a sheet, but a living pulse of your entire growth system's health. Think about it. Anyone can grow fast. What's impossible is to do it sustainably, to grow without dying a little at your core every day, to expand not just in size but in strength, in depth, in purpose. The secret is simple but brutal. It's about retention at every level, not just customers, but talent, passion, innovation. It's the unseen friction between growth and decay. The real hidden metric is churn, but not just customer churn. It's team churn, idea churn, culture churn. How much is slipping through your fingers, unnoticed, unmeasured, but crashing your future? How much of your growth is leaking because you're focused on the flashy, easy-to-calculate numbers while ignoring what nobody else measures? This metric will expose your vulnerable core, your company's ability to hold on to what matters under pressure, to stay aligned, fierce, and true when distractions try to drag you off course. Now, don't fool yourself into thinking there's a quick fix here, because the path to mastering this metric is a raging climb. It demands ruthless honesty about how your culture actually feels, how your leaders perform when nobody's watching, how your strategy breathes under stress. It means tearing down the smoke and mirrors of comfortable lies that growth will fix everything. It means stepping into the brutal truth that every piece of your system, people, processes, purpose, must be aligned like a laser beam, or else you're building a house on sand. But here's the electrifying part. Once you see it, once you measure it, and touch it every day, the way you lead changes. Decisions get sharper, your team starts breathing as one organism, and innovation no longer fizzles out, it ignites. Growth becomes manageable, not a wild storm that threatens to rip you apart. This isn't some abstract dream. It's the difference between being swallowed by your market or becoming a force that shifts the entire landscape. Stop for a second and imagine the kind of legacy you want. Do you want to be remembered as just another founder who chased growth and fell? Or as someone who built something that danced with chaos but never broke? Someone who redefined what it means to scale? That choice is yours, right now, because this hidden metric lets you see the cracks before they shatter your vision. It surfaces the parts of your company that silently resist change, where talent leaves quietly, and where your purpose loses its pulse. When you track this, when you build your business around it, you become the rare kind of leader who doesn't just survive change, but shapes it. You become a force multiplier, amplifying everything real and cutting through noise like a hot knife through butter. Suddenly, your growth isn't a wild gamble. It's a finely tuned engine, humming with power and precision. Here's a brutal truth to chew on. The world is rushing headlong into chaos. The old systems are crumbling, and comfort is a cage with golden bars. The way things worked yesterday won't work tomorrow, especially when it comes to growth. Those who cling to familiar metrics are already dead. They just don't know it yet. If your only measuring stick is short-term revenue or user count, you're building on a foundation of sand, and every windstorm will take you down. But those who dare to look deeper, who obsess over the health and longevity underneath the surface, those few will forge ahead, stronger, smarter, more unbreakable. This hidden metric is their weapon. It's the heartbeat of a new kind of growth, steady, fierce, and real. So how do you start? First, you have to measure what's truly holding your company together. Customer retention is obvious, but beyond that, measure engagement and satisfaction inside your team, like your life depends on it. Count the number of new ideas that survive beyond first pitch, not the ones that die in meetings. Track how quickly you adapt when plans shatter. Audit the alignment of your mission across every corner of the business. These aren't neat, simple metrics, so most avoid them. But here's the secret. They reveal your true velocity. Because real growth doesn't come from surface wins or ticking boxes. It comes from creating a system that evolves with you, where every layer supports the others, and every person's energy pulls you forward. When you build your focus here, the autopilot growth chasing fades. The endless race dissolves. Instead, you become a leader who pilots through storms, who commands calm amid chaos, who sees opportunity where others see only obstacles. That hidden metric lets you cut through the noise and ruthlessly prioritize what matters. Not because it looks good on a dashboard, but because it keeps your engine alive and roaring. You don't need every channel, every tactic, or every shiny tool. You need one thing: alignment. Alignment between what you build inside and the world you want to change outside. Alignment between the fire in your chest and the people who walk beside you in the dark. Make no mistake, this is not easy. Measuring this metric will force you to confront uncomfortable truths about your team, your leadership, and your vision. You'll have to kill sacred cows, old habits, worn-out beliefs, toxic comfort zones. You'll need to create a culture where questioning is not just accepted, but demanded. You need to become so critical and so clear you can separate gold from gravel in moments. But if you do, the payoffs are enormous. You transform your company from a fragile startup chasing wild dreams to an unstoppable force laying the blueprints of what the future looks like. Think about the world you want to live in, one where difference isn't feared, but celebrated, where individuals don't drown in bureaucracy but find their fire, where power isn't hoarded but multiplied through connection. This metric is the compass that points to that world. It's the secret handshake among those who refuse to settle for mediocrity in growth or life. It's where the edges sharpen into the blades that cut through the fake promises of ease and comfort. This is the realm of radical leaders who shout enough to the noise of fleeting success, and yes, to the hard, fierce work that builds legacy. Exactly what will happen if you ignore this? You continue down the well-worn path of illusions, watching your company grow for a moment, then crumble quietly from the inside. You'll trade soul for scale, passion for process, hope for hollow metrics. You'll wake up one day and wonder where the fire went, why the team is burnt out, the customers gone, and the market indifferent. But if you pick this up, if you make this metric your North Star, you become part of something larger, something fierce and rare, an autonomous network of leaders who are no longer isolated, no longer fragile, but connected, aligned, and ready to remake the rules of growth themselves. Growth without depth is a lie. Expansion without sustainability is death disguised in progress. But this hidden metric? It's the key to unlocking furious, unbreakable, intentional growth. The kind that makes others dizzy with disbelief, because they've never seen anyone grow this way before. Not with this level of fire, focus, and unshakable power. Hold tight to that thought. This isn't for the comfortable, for the compliant, or for those okay with second best. This is for those who burn with the unbearable tension inside, the feeling that there's more, much more, waiting to be unleashed. It's for the rare few ready to stop playing by someone else's rules and start forging their own legacy on a foundation that lasts beyond their lifetime. So go ahead, stop chasing, start measuring the real pulse. Align, ignite, build. Because sustainable expansion, it's waiting, just beneath the surface, for those bold enough to see it.